Hello, scrappy ladies and gents. Suzanne here in the studio today with another collection obsession. This one is coming from my last of line. I scrap mostly by collection, and so when I first use the collection, it gets filed by theme, season, or other themes. And then after that, if I just have, once I get down to less than half of it, it goes in my last of line. And then I try to use those up every so often. Here, this looks like it was actually part of the Scrapbook and Cards Today samplers. My sister-in-law and I both subscribed to them for, a year or two back in the day. So here you can see they've given us a 6x6 sheet of 6 different papers. And just, it looks like a little bit of washi tape stickers and a few die cuts. But then I also had some Garden Harvest. I had some paper. So here are the papers I had. Very, very fun. I love this purple. So that kind of gives you an idea of that. Let's move these over here where they don't get so much glare on them. Then I also have this Peapod Parts that I bought for $3.29 back in the day. And they had this clear stamp set. So this will be fun to use. Then I decided, since this wasn't a lot of paper, I would just go through my stash real quick and just see what else I could find that would work in right away. And I found these mix-ins from Close to My Heart, a couple of the blue ones that will look really good with this blue paper. I thought this Reminisce paper, not only did it have a brighter blue, but it had this sort of basket weave in it. I thought that would work real good. Let me put that there. And then I had this one single piece of Simple Stories. And I thought these colors matched up pretty well with those. And then just adding in just a few more things. Butterflies were a big theme for here. So I had some American Crafts wood butterflies. I also had some leftover Jillibean soup wooden nickels. Some of those colors could go. I had some Park Lane sort of garden snails and other things. Those were kind of fun. This basic gray color seemed to be right, so I'm throwing those in. And then some Queen & Company citrus color twine. This is sort of a coral and a green, which really goes nicely with this paper. You can see that up there. And then I also had some Violet Studio teeny tiny enamel dots. So I have almost as much added to this collection obsession as I did when I started with it, since it was part of my last of line. Okay, I'll be back in a bit to show you what I have done. And I'm back. First, I wanted to let you know what I was using for inspiration. I pulled out a Scrapbook and Cards Today from fall of 2020 rather, and I found 3 ideas I liked. This one, because all of the photos were kind of along the bottom, and we had this scattering of embellishments. And then this one over here, I liked it, just the simplicity of the 2 in the middle. And then for the last one, I liked this, where we're using these squares along one side. So, and I also had seen, when I did a Pinterest search, that Jillibean Soup actually had a project sheet for this layout, which looks like it's perfect for using up scraps. So let me show you the actual layouts. Here is the first one. Okay, we've got this sort of wood fence in the back that's blue. I'd originally thought the other side of this paper is this basket weave, and I really thought I was going to like that with this, but then it seemed to be too much when I first laid it out, so I opted for the back side instead, and I like the calm of the blue. And then we have the aqua on the edge, and then this gorgeous blue floral in the middle, and then this strip here. And then one of the sheets of paper had all of these squares with different sayings and elements on it. So gather here with grateful hearts, blessed always. Show you some close-ups. I added in some of those little Violet Studio teeny tiny dots. And here I did a little journal card for journaling. And then again down here, some more dots. So that was the first one I did. Easy peasy. Next up, I just went to that simple one where it was just 2 horizontal bands in the middle of a page. And this is how it turned out. Here I actually opted for a 4x6 of this paper with all of the words on it. Happy blessed family together, this is us. And then I did the pictures on a slight slant, and we've got 3 going across the page, 2 vertical and 1 horizontal. And then I actually used the twine from the kit on here. Let me show you. Got a floral cluster there with a bow. And then under here I used some of that washi tape, grateful, thankful, blessed, at the bottom there, and some of the chipboard. And then over here we've got family, we've got a little bow tied there, and then down here we've got some loose twine. So we've got twine in all 3 spots. So that was the second one. Here's the next one. Part of what I had in the kit were those sampler sheets that were 6x6 portions of 12x12 paper. So those were really easy to cut up because I could get 6 squares from each of those. Well, more than that, it would be 9 squares from each of those. And then I just did the floral wreath paper down the middle, and I added in some journal squares here. And then we've got black around this welcome home, around the journal strips, and then over here I made a feature of one of the squares as well. This background paper here is mink from Close to My Heart, just a lovely neutral. And then I finished it off. These little enamel butterflies were part of that sampler kit that I'd had from way back in the day. So there's that. Then I took that project sheet of the one that they had done and I changed it up a little bit. Instead of doing it perfectly centered, I wanted to create a visual triangle of clusters. So I offset the photo and this title. And then also they had used a sewing machine and had sewed down all of these rows. I didn't want to do that, so I just stitched around the outside to make it look like it was all kind of stitched on there at the end. And then I just did a cluster here using up all of the flowers that were left in the die cut pack. I have a few pieces of the die cuts left, mostly some trucks and stuff, so those will go into my stash. At that point then, I was ready to do just a few cards as I was cleaning up my desk. Let me show you those. Here's the first one. Got some chipboard, and then hello sunshine, you are loved. And then this is some of that washi tape that was in with the sampler. Then here's another one. These particular butterflies were not in my kit, so I went to my stash to get those. But I used up this little thanks. I think that turned out cute. We've got some those little violet studio dots again. And then last but not least is this one. This may be my favorite one. These are just two scallop circle punches. And then this blessed die cut. And then two pieces of paper in a vertical over the horizontal. So that's that. I was really happy with how these turned out. As far as what I had left in my kit, I had these two pieces of the Close to My Heart mix-in paper, which I will of course file back. And then I had this one piece of Simple Story Let's Go. And I thought that these plus signs that I was really going to want to use those. But the more I looked at it, the less I liked it. And I didn't like the back side at all. So I might put this in with my scraps, in my multicolor section of my scraps. Or you sometimes use it for a... Because I don't think those two patterns work well together for a card. They're just not the same vibe at all. So this is the Simple Stories Let's Go on our way. So that didn't really get used in the kit. I also did not use these basic gray. And I didn't use any of the wooden nickels either, or the stamp set. So all of this will go back into my stash. As always, I appreciate your time and attention. Bye for a bit.